Good morning and welcome to this morning's reflection. Today I would like to begin by reading from Psalm 16. You will show me the path of life, the fullness of joy in your presence. You will show me the path of life, the fullness of joy in your presence. What is the path of life? The path of life is quite a wriggly path. It seems to go here and go there. We want it to be straight and clear-cut. But it seldom is. It is something that unfolds a little at a time while we are living it out. We talk about planning it and about finding it. But life is much more often discovered in hindsight than in forward vision and planning. More often than not, we do not find life. It comes to find us. The only question is whether or not we recognize it and accept it when it finally finds us. Whether or not we bring meaning to it and take meaning from it as it is. Psychologists talk a great deal these days about alienation, that feeling of being out of touch with self, of not knowing exactly what we're about in life, or how we feel about it, or what things mean to us as we race always from one place to the next, looking for what we want, but we cannot really identify it. Social analysts say that alienation began to mark us as people when the assembly line began to take the place of craft. People bolted steel frames or sorted peaches or cut pant pockets all their lives. They never had the exhilarating sense of creativity that comes with building a car, or growing an orchard, or designing a suit of clothes. Clearly, it all comes down to finding the fullness of joy in God's presence. Maybe alienation is the sign that we are not a secular culture after all. Maybe, in fact, we are a very spiritual one, suffering from the fact that we have been cast adrift of all the props, and left to find for ourselves the things that really count in life. Meaning does not come from what we do. It comes from what we are. If we are lovers of beauty, then beauty will fill us all of our days. If we are committed to justice, then justice will drive us past all fatigue and all failure. If we are devoted to building human community, then we will find meaning in the people whose lives we touch. It's when we are driven by nothing other than our daily schedules, that life becomes grey, listless and dour. Life happens quickly, but the meaning of life comes into focus only slowly. The challenge is to keep on asking ourselves what it is. Achievement is essentially what we do for ourselves, but meaning comes out of what we do for others. And so we have to keep searching and searching for the meaning of life. And we find that meaning often in places of service. There were 2 disciples who had become dependent on their teacher, and they were concerned about what they would do as he grew older, and that one day he would die. And the elder, sensing this, drew the disciples near and told them this story. He said, once there was a student who was with the teacher for many years. And when the teacher felt he was going to die, he wanted to make his death a lesson. And so that night, the teacher took a torch and he called his student, and they went off through the forest. When they reached the middle of the forest, the teacher extinguished the torch without any explanation at all to the student. "What is the matter?" asked the student. "The torch has gone out," the teacher answered, and just walked on. "But," shouted the fearful student, "will you leave me here in the dark?" "No, I will not leave you in the dark," returned his teacher's voice from the surrounding blackness. I will leave you searching for the light." And so today, do one creative thing. Bake a cake, paint a picture, cut a bouquet of flowers. Do anything that brings you fullness of joy. May you be blessed. Amen.